Hey guys, Algebra 2 Part 2. All we're doing is adding and subtracting radicals just like we did day 1. So it's extra practice and extra info for you. If you need any help, let me know.
Let's look at day 2 notes. So we're doing the same exact thing. We are adding and subtracting radicals. So first we look and see if our radical is the same. It's the square root of 5. And since it is the same, all we have to do is add our -4 plus -4. -4 plus -4 is a -8, and then we keep our square root of 5. Let's look at number 2. For number 2, we are going to, again, look at our radical, the square root of 2 and the square root of 2, and since they are the same, all I have to do is add 2 plus 4, so that becomes 6 square roots of 2. Let's go on to number 3. Now, when we look at number 3, we see that we do not have any of the same radicals, the 4th root of 4, 4th root of 96, and the 4th root of 6. So what that means we have to do is we have to simplify. Now, 4 can be broken down into 2 and 2. 96 is 2 and 48, and then 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3, and 6 can be broken down into 2 and 3. Once I've done that, now I have to look and see what is my index. It's a 4, which means I have to circle anything that's groups of 4. So I'm going to circle, the only one that I can circle groups of 4 is my 96. So now I'm going to rewrite everything that's anything that I took out, and I'm going to rewrite anything that I didn't inside the radical. I couldn't do anything with my 2 4th root of 4, so I'm going to leave that as 2 4th root of 4. Minus, I have a 3 here, and then I took out a group of 2's, so that's got to be multiplied. The 4th root of 2 times 3 is 6. Plus, I couldn't take anything out of my 2 4th root of 6, so I leave it as 2 4th root of 6. Now, I have to multiply my 2 and my 3, so I'm going to rewrite this one more time as 2 4th root of 4 minus 3 times 2 is 6 4th root of 6 plus 2 4th root of 6. So now I can only combine like terms, things that are exactly the same. So I have the 4th root of 6 and the 4th root of 6. Those are the two that I can combine. I don't have anything that's the 4th root of 4, so I'm going to leave that as 2 4th root of 4. -6 plus 2 is a minus 4, and that stays the 4th root of 6. So that's my answer. 2 4th root of 4, oops, that's a minus 4 4th root of 6. Let's look at number 4. First thing we do is we look and see if we have anything that's exactly the same. I have the 3rd root of 162, 3rd root of 81, and the 3rd root of 3. I do not. So I have to break these down. 162 is going to be 2 and 81. 81 I can break down into 3 and 27, and 3 and 9, and 3 and 3. Here, 81, I already did that once, so 3 and 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. And I can't break 3 down, it's a prime number. So I'm going to look and see how many do I need to break it out of jail. I need 3. So I'm going to circle groups of 3. Anything that I circled gets to come out. Anything I did not circle has to stay inside the radical. So I have this -2, and that's going to be multiplied by my group of 3. And then inside the radical, I have a 3 and a 2 that did not get circled. 3 times 2 is 6, minus I have this 2, times I have this group of 3, and then anything that did not get circled, this 3, stays inside the radical. And I couldn't do anything with this radical, so it just stays what it is. Now let's do that multiplication so that we can see what it is. I have negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6. Cube root of 6 minus 2 times 3 is 6. Cube root of 3 plus 3 cube root of 3. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to identify which ones are like, which is my cube root of 3 and my cube root of 3. So those can be added together. This cube root of 6, I can't do anything with it, so it stays there, negative 6. Cube root of 6 minus 6. A negative 6 plus 3 is going to be a negative 3 cube root of 3. And that's my answer. We only have 2 more left to do. So when we look at this, I have the square root of 3, square root of 27, and the square root of 8. They're not the same, but they can be broken down. I can't break down my square root of 3, but I can break down my square root of 27 into 3 and 9 and 3 and 3. And I can break down my square root of 8 into 2 and 4 and 2 and 2. Remember, when there's no number with my square root, then that means that it's 2, which means that I have to circle groups of 2. So I'm going to circle groups of 2 that are exactly the same. Now, let's simplify this. I can't do anything with this, so it still stays negative. I'm going to put a 1 in there. Remember, when there's not a number up front, we can assume that it's a 1. Negative 1 square root of 3 minus 2 times, I took out a 3. I have a group of 3 that I can take out. And then I have a 3 left over. Plus, you guys, I'm sorry that this is shaking. Plus 2, because of this 2, times this group of 2, square root of 2. Let's simplify this a little further. I have a negative 1 square root of 3. 2 times 3 is 6 square root of 3. And 2 times 2 is 4 square root of 2. So now we can combine like terms. So my like terms are my square root of 3. They're what's exactly the same. So I have a negative 1 plus a negative 6 is a negative 7 square root of 3. And I don't have anything to combine with the square root of 2, so it stays the square root of 2. Last one. Before we do anything, let's combine our square root of 108, because we see that those are exactly the same. Remember, we can add or subtract anything that's exactly the same. So I have negative 3, the cube root of 54. I have 3 minus 2 is a plus 1 square root or cube root of 108. So now I can simplify those and see if the simplification makes it so that I can combine those terms. So 54 can be broken down into 2 and 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. And 108 can be broken down into 2 and 54, 2 and 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. Remember that this is the cube root, so that means that we're going to take groups of 3 out. So I'm going to circle my groups of 3 to make it easier for me to see what I have to take out. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 3 because of this negative 3 times 3 because of that group, cube root of 2 plus 3 because of that 3, cube root of 2 times 2 is 4. And I can't add those together, but I can simplify this just one further into 3 times negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9, cube root of 2 plus 3 cube root of 4. and that's our answer. Have a great day, guys.